just don't see it. They say they love me, but I just don't feel it.
Hey, yes sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, and probably my favorite pickup truck in Forza Horizon, that Chevy 1500. Just complete race car, man. This thing's an absolute animal. But we are back. Come on, bro. I'm trying to do a video here, man. We are back with another build video. Now, this is probably going to be the last and final video that I do on that 96 Impala SS. I just figured, while I have it, before I end up putting it up for auction, I just try to get as many builds out of it as possible. So we already did that donk flashy SS build on 21s with the candy paint, baby. We already did that police interceptor build, and now what we have to take care of is that maxed out American muscle build on our Impala SS. So with that being said, we are going to jump into the upgrades and tuning and get started with this one. So with it being maxed out, we're only going to max out a couple of things. Now, one of those things is we are going to actually swap out the engine on here. Now, that racing 7.2 liter giving us a huge boost in power. So we're going to go ahead and install that bad boy right here. What displacement was that? That 7.2 liter V8, absolute monster. We are now going to go ahead and throw on, I think, the twin turbos. Even though we got a little bit of turbo lag there, low in the RPM range, and it looks like we're still getting the same max power. I think with the upgrades that we can do with these turbos, we'll probably get a little bit more power than out of this one than we did with the supercharger. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly a fan of the front splitter on this thing. I think it looks a little stupid, doesn't match the car, but one thing I do like is that little lip that we can put on this bad boy. So we're going to go ahead and install that right now. Now, as far as tires and rims on this one, we're going to go ahead, upgrade this to just a race tire compound. We are going to be widening the stance on both front and back wheels here. Get a nice meaty set of tires on here. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to find something a little bit more muscular, a little bit more muscle car like on this one, as opposed to the last two builds that we did with this car. And for me, I think those Cragar Bonnevilles are going to be a nice touch for this build. As you can see, nice old school kind of 5-spoke, look to them. We're going to go ahead, upgrade these to a 16-inch wheel just to give it a little bit more of an aggressive stance. And are we going to widen up the track width just a little bit? I think we're going to go out one. I guess we'll call it a spacer on the front, and I guess we'll do 2 on the back, giving this a nice staggered look. Once we lower this car, it should look absolutely mint. Now, pretty much everything as far as the driveline and the engine goes, I think we're going to go ahead and upgrade. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Brakes, we'll probably need some good brakes on this thing, so I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade those, as well as our suspension, race spring, and damper for this one. And we're going to go ahead, upgrade the anti-roll bars, and I think we're going to go ahead and take care of the weight reduction on this thing. Now, as far as the engine goes, as you can see, because we already have a race motor, not much that we can do. Going to upgrade that that fuel system, as well as the injectors, displacement, those twin turbos coming in clutch with a little bit of extra power, the intercooler system, as well as the flywheel. Now we're just going to check the horsepower on this thing. 1,011 kilowatts of power, which is going to equate to around 1,355 horsepower. For you, Canadians, Americans, people that don't go by kilowatts, that's a lot of horsepower, man. This thing is going to be an absolute monster once we get it out there. We're going to go ahead and buy that setup, no big deal. Even though I paid $9 million for this car, I probably would hope to get a little bit of cash back for this thing. But now we're going to go ahead, jump into the tuning section of this game. Now for the acceleration, we're going to bring that just a little bit closer. As you can see, we're right around 409 kilometers an hour for our top speed. I don't think we're going to be able to get anywhere close to that with this car. There's just not an open enough stretch of road in this game. Let's be honest with ourselves here. We're going to square up that camber just a little bit. We're going to lower this thing as much as we possibly can. And the differential, we're going to put to 100% just because I think it's going to help the launch with all of that power. And now that we got all of that out of the way comes the designs and paints. Now the black paint job on this thing has always been just a signature of these cars. They only came in black, the Impala SS. So unless it was painted outside of, you know, where it came from the factory, you're probably going to get a black paint on there. But I think for this one, we're going to spruce things up a little bit. I would like to see a nice candy apple red on this thing. So I'm going to do a little bit custom, darken up this red color here. And as you can see, that thing is looking very fresh. I'm liking the way it looks. I'm going to go ahead, paint up these wheels for a nice muscle car look. I think black would definitely be the way to go. Maybe we'll go with a kind of polish. I guess polished steel might look a little bit decent too. The gold definitely isn't happening. Yeah, let's go with the polished steel, man. Still got a nice chrome look. Just look at the stance on this thing, man. This is looking sick. I think the polished steel will give us a little bit of a, you know, nicer look, but still have a nice darkened muscle car feel to it. So we're going to go ahead, save this to the current car. Now that we got all that taken care of, we're going to go ahead, take this thing out on the road, see what it can do. To be honest, I think this is going to have a little bit more power than we're going to be able to handle here. All the way up to redline like it's nothing. I think first and foremost, we're going to have to take this thing to the drag strip, even in second gear. Just completely shredding the tires off of this thing. Where is the drag strip? The drag strip, I think it's around here somewhere. Let me go ahead and set a waypoint so we're not wasting any time here. Look at the stance. Would you just look at it? Oh my, this thing's looking good.
When it is safe to do
Oh,
so.
we're turning all right. Big drifties on this thing, man. Now, one thing, come on, bro. I'm trying to make a video here, man. One thing that I dislike about making maxed out builds is, to be honest, they're sometimes just a little bit ridiculous. You know what I mean? They're just a little much to handle. Unless you're completely feathering the throttle, you're probably not going to get that much more acceleration than you would if you did something that was a little bit more moderate, maybe some twin turbos where you can actually use the grip. But nonetheless, we're going to see. I'm thinking this thing is going to be like a 10-second car if I can get it to hook. But we're going to find out right now. I mean, in all honesty, with this much horsepower, this thing should be capable of a lot more in the quarter mile. But the thing about it is, when grip becomes a factor, you're really only as good as your launch. So I'm going to try to feather the gas here just a little bit. Once we hook, we should be passing everybody off into the other lane. Woo-wee! I mean, our launch wasn't that great, but once we did hook, there it is, 10 seconds right off of the bat. Once we did hook, this thing was absolutely gone. I'm going to restart this event just because I want to try that again. Now, I think what I might do is upshift a little sooner. Didn't even have my finger on the gas there at the beginning. Oh, that's just terrible. That's just terrible. Gonna go ahead and restart this one, man. Now we're gonna get a mulligan on that one. The old mulligan Forza. We're gonna try that launch one more time here. Upshift second, into third, into fourth. Finally getting grip there. We definitely had a faster top speed. And that's a 10.5 one more time. I want to see this thing in the 9s. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one more shot. But 10.5, that's still a very fast car, especially for something of this weight. Just right up to redline, struggling with grip there. That was probably around 11 or 12 seconds right there. 10.9, still not bad. but a little disappointing. I mean, here I am complaining about a 10-second 96 Impala like it's something to sneeze at, but you know, when you're racing a 1300 horsepower car, you just expect a little bit more, man. But we are going to take this thing out for a rip, see how it performs on the road around the curvies. Hopefully we can get at least a little bit of grip out there. We are in reverse. That's not good. So yeah, man, this thing for me is more of a you know, just a show car, just a looker. Like, as you can see, we've got so much horsepower. It's just pushing this car off of the road. Now, the numbers on paper, obviously very impressive, but for me, the way that I look at it is, I said this in the last video we did on this car where we did the police interceptor. The thing only had about, I don't know, 250 to 300 horsepower, sorry, kilowatts that is, and the thing handled like it was on rails. You could take any of these corners without an issue, whereas this thing has the same suspension, same tire setup, you know, same track width and everything, but just with the horsepower, it's just a little more difficult to handle. It just doesn't brake as well, and you get going way too fast that the brakes can't even keep up, and the tires just slide all over the place. But I mean, if you're looking for a maxed out build, this is as maxed out as it gets, in my opinion. We went with the engine swap, completely tuned, completely maxed out all of the power options. Coming up to a little bit of a turn here. It drifts relatively nice. Maybe it's just me, man. Maybe I gotta, you know, just get used to the way that this car handles now that we got it fully maxed out. Top of fourth gear, we're doing 250 kilometers an hour, which is very fast. I don't think our police cruiser got past 260. I have to go back and review the footage though. So I mean, this thing is definitely a beast. Causing a little bit of an accident there. That's okay, just the AI. Wow, man, this thing is hauling ass right now. So now that I'm out here, getting a little bit more used to the power here, this thing actually is not that bad. Little bit of wet spots on the ground, which are causing a little bit of an issue, but nonetheless. Woo! We're going off the road. As you can see, still quite difficult to handle at such high speeds. This thing is very fast. Oh, that hurt. That hurt the pride, Don Squally. Yes, it did. This thing's very fast. Still a very heavy car, even though we completely did a weight reduction on this thing, which I don't even think I did for the last two Impalas. Damn, this thing hauling some ass, man. Ooh-wee. But what I'm thinking we're probably going to do is head to my favorite part in this whole map, and that is the city. We're almost there anyways. I guess if we kept going straight, we probably would have been there. But sun's going down. I want to get a decent thumbnail, screenshot for our thumbnail. And as we usually do around this time, put an end to today's video. I mean, I don't know what to say. This thing just, I'm glad that I was able to buy the car. I paid a little bit more than I really wanted to, but I'm glad I was able to buy this car and, you know, make a couple of videos on it. Maxed out this thing, absolutely dope. I don't know, should we get one from the rear here? Maybe one from the front, probably a better look. The sunshine, just making this thing look like kind of matte. I'm not really liking the way that looks in the sun, man. But that pretty much concludes everything that I wanted to do with the Impala SS. That old school 96, not exactly an old school compared to those 6.4s. I guess those are really the originators. But this thing always will hold a place in my heart as being one of my favorite Impalas, man. I mean, obviously, if I had the money, I'd go with that classic, do a little bit of a hydro setup on it. But this thing just looks absolutely amazing. Big body, front engine, rear wheel drive. And with this one being maxed out, just an absolute blast to drive. But I'm thinking we're probably going to put an end to today's video. So if you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to smash that like button if you guys want to see more. And you are not subscribed yet, definitely do so. That candy apple red looking oh so dope. But yeah, man, that pretty much wraps up today's video. So as always, I am your boy D-Nolly, aka Don Squally. And we gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Oh no. Oh no.